Hello, everybody. Welcome to BrokeN Boys. This is episode 33. I'm Colin.
And I'm Mike. It's been a week. And right off the bat, I just want to say sorry for the glare in the background.
Yeah.
I'm not exactly sure why that's an issue today, but I don't really know how I could practically fix that.
I have no idea. Maybe if the tripod here was a little taller, it might cancel it out a little bit, but
maybe. I don't know.
it's not worth
No, it's
the
not.
hassle.
Maybe I should invest in some curtains. Or
Maybe.
a black thing to put over the window.
Some
or
blackout
something.
curtains.
Yeah, something like that. I don't know, but yep. Just sorry about that in advance.
Yeah. Other than the obvious, how have you been this week, Mike?
It's been a week. A lot of it was just kind of, building up to. I mean, Thursday night obviously was great. For those who don't know what we're referencing, we'll get more into it for sure. But we went to 21 Pilots, the Takeover Tour, the Oregon Ballroom in Chicago. Tyler said he loved that venue the most.
Yeah,
and
we're his favorites, so.
Yeah, and I just brief tangent on that, I guess. I know a lot of artists do that, like, oh, you guys are the best, whatever. But I really do believe when Tyler says that, because he told us, he's like, I told one of the places in LA straight to their face, I do not like this place. He's a very blunt, opinionated person.
He will tell you what he means.
Yeah, so I do kind of believe him when he says that.
Yeah.
We're number one.
We are
But
number one.
anyways, back to me, sorry. I mean, it was just kind of a stressful week leading up to that, because on Friday had a test, kind of big one, for my music history class, which I ranted about a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
It's the same test format.
How did it go?
Honestly, it went better than I could have hoped for, I think. Yeah. I was getting pretty nervous going into it. I had 2 hours of free time beforehand, and I used that time to get some Starbucks. I got a mocha with 2 shots of espresso and a panini, chicken caprese, I think.
Don't you be a meanie.
Yeah, pretty much. But that was my fuel, and it did wake me up. And I just studied for 2 hours, all the stuff that I could, and yeah, I think it went pretty well.
Yeah.
I definitely felt more confident about it than the first one. So last time I was like, I hope I get a B, but realistically C. This time I'm more I'm pretty sure I got a B.
Yeah.
So that's improvement.
That's good. That's really good.
But yeah, that was running off of 6 hours of sleep, if that.
6 is better than none.
It's true. And thankfully, one of my buddies, he let me crash at his place. I mean, you would have been willing to as well, but I was able to sleep on a couch rather than the floor. Right. And the couch was more comfortable than I thought it was going to be, actually. But yeah, that saved me 30 minutes of driving and then up and back, so an hour of driving and an hour more sleep, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, a lot of the week was leading up to that, though, kind of stressful, and then just some other school projects that I needed to be getting done and stuff like that, and then just overall frustration of not really having much free time. But Thursday made it all worth it. So
Yeah, it really.
But sorry for my long-winded answer. How was your week other than the obvious?
It was okay. My dad had a meeting in St. Louis on Wednesday, and he came back. He was going back up he was going back home on Wednesday, but he was like, I'm going to stop at your school and we're going to go to dinner. I was like, okay. So I saw my dad for a little bit, and then that was nice. And then other than the concert yesterday, I probably got to sleep at 2 2:45.
Okay.
I was like, it was like almost 3. I was like, I am not getting to class tomorrow.
Yeah.
I wanted to, but I just could not. And then I ended up waking up at 10, and then I had a meeting with my group for my communications class, because we're doing a group speech. And our teacher has this, like, extra credit thing where you have to do, like, a scavenger hunt, and you also have to, like, there's, like, a checklist that you check off, and you can get, like, 10 extra points on your speech if you finish it. And, like, the scavenger hunt was, like, you have to take a picture with a stranger on the quad. You have to...
that is weird.
I know. You have to do a random act of kindness. You have to take a picture with the school mascot. It doesn't have to be the real mascot, but it has to be, any of, imagery.
Like a image of it? Yeah, okay.
And then, like, a spot where you can get food and drink. So, like, we went... we were in the library to start off with, and it was like, take a picture where you study of like a group meeting, and like we just went by like a bunch of books, so we took a picture there, and then we went to the student center, and we were looking for a really cheap like thing to give a stranger so we could get like 2 done at once.
Okay.
And we got this like sticker of the school name and the mascot. So yeah,
it's like a triple whammy.
It was a triple whammy. And we were walking around on the quad after that, just like looking for somebody, but we all felt super awkward asking anybody to take a picture with us.
Yeah, I mean, rightfully so.
And we found this one dude at first, and he was like, I don't know if I'm comfortable taking a picture. And we were like, oh, that's perfectly fine. This is weird. We know. And then we saw this one guy that was just holding a camera, and you were like, hey, you want to take a picture? You get a sticker out of it. He was like, bet.
Nice.
I love stickers. And then we were like, can you hold a sticker too? And like, so we took a picture with the stranger on the quad with the random act of kindness and the mascot.
God damn.
So triple whammy, that one picture.
Yeah. Trifecta.
Yeah. But yeah, that was pretty fun. And
was it like I don't remember if you said, was it like a timed thing? Where you
no,
it
was just like you have to do it, but you have to turn it in before next Friday or something like that.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
But yeah, it was pretty funny.
It would have been a big a time skip, as they say in the speed running community, if it was timed.
Then we also have to take a picture with another comm teacher, and we're like, we don't know who any of those people are.
Yeah.
But there was like, we saw one of them walking on the quad, but he was like with a bunch of people, so we were like, and we don't know his name, so I was like, what if we were just like, Mr. Dr. Professor Sir?
Yeah.
But yeah, it was kind of funny, but other than that, didn't do a whole yesterday. It was just recovering from my legs.
Oh God, yeah.
And yeah, I didn't. Other than that, yeah. Today, I slept until 9.
That's not sleeping in.
No, I didn't say I slept in. I said I slept until 9.
Oh, slept until. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
I thought you said slept in till.
No. I slept till 9, and then I was woken up a little bit more by a homecoming parade.
Oh, yeah.
Going by my dorm building. I was like, oh, I hear drums and trumpets and shit. Like, flashbacks. But I haven't done a whole lot today other than it's Saturday, by the way, when we're filming this.
Yeah, we're doing it a day later just because
we need recovery.
There wasn't really a practical way for me to be in the zone yesterday. So
you would have fallen asleep by
probably. I did take a fat nap when I got home, and by the time I was awake, it probably would have been pretty late to do an episode. So
how many hours did you take a nap for?
Well, I got home around 3-ish. Does that sound about right? Yeah, I think so, because I got lunch. And then I slept until like 7, 8-ish. So, I mean, I guess it would have been like super, super late for a pod, but also like would have been like, hey, you want to come over now for a pod?
I mean, I would have, but
true. But
I completely understand. I wouldn't have been super in the zone either.
Yeah. AutoZone.
But yeah, it's been a good week. So
yeah, I agree.
Some news this week.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna read off your notes here because I forgot my fucking journal.
Yep. Idiot. Unprepared. Dumbass.
I drove you all the way to Chicago and back. You son of a bitch.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I think the biggest thing for at least both of us, Silk Sonic, they said record in November after being like, yeah, it'll probably be next year, and just getting depressed over that. They're like, never mind. So
yeah, November 12th, less than a month away.
Holy shit.
So that's pretty crazy.
Oh yeah, you're right.
I'm very excited for that.
Yeah.
They're perfect for each other, and
yeah.
I'm very, very, very excited to hear a whole album of that.
Yeah.
And I hope it's not just a one-off thing.
Yeah, we'll see. But even if it is, I have a good feeling this album will be very good. It might be one that goes to the top of my lists.
Yeah.
Maybe not the top, but honestly, it's possible.
Yeah. It's just another album to fuck up people's year-end lists.
Yeah, I mean, I won't even really say fuck up because, like, since they announced the song, I'm like, this is gonna be in there.
But it's still like we weren't expecting it for this year.
Yeah,
said
for a bit.
So it's pretty crazy. We also got Mac Miller's Faces on Spotify.
That's right.
I listened to that yesterday. We'll go more into it next week, I'm sure.
Yeah, because I didn't get a chance.
But from what I listened to it, the first listen through, I liked it a lot. It's I got so used to listening to Swimming in Circles that I didn't really come to like acknowledge and love the cleverness that Mac had in a lot of his lyrics. It's a very sad album because the first line is like, should have been dead a while ago, and it's like, oh man. Yeah. Mac. And I know he did a lot of that stuff. Bless you.
Fuck.
Bless you.
We're good, thank you.
Just gonna clip the audio.
Oh yeah.
Well, yeah, it's bittersweet, just like Circles was, but it's still very good, and I'm sure you'll like it. And then the FINNEAS record came out as well. It's called,
that too.
It's called I think it's.
I'm so sorry.
You're gonna sneeze again, dude?
Yeah.
The fuck? Stop. Don't do it.
It worked.
It's called Optimist.
Yeah. That's all I gotta do. Just say stop.
Yeah, Optimist by FINNEAS.
That's what you're saying. I thought you were saying I had to be an optimist about my sneezing
no,
for
fuck
it to
you.
stop.
No, but I listened to that yesterday as well, and that was very good. I liked that a lot. Yeah.
I'll need to listen to that.
I have not listened to any of FINNEAS' solo music before, and I was pleasantly surprised. He's got a great voice on him as well.
Yeah, I think I mentioned it last week on the pod, but I only really know one song by him. It's called "I Lost a Friend," and that's a really good one. I believe that's on his first album, or the last one he did. I don't know.
Yeah, I might have to dive back into his discography. Listen through it because I was pleasantly surprised by that. But like, there are a couple songs on the album that are kind of reminiscent of a couple songs on "Happier Than Ever." Like, there's one song that sounded a lot like Billy Bossa Nova, and I was like. I mean, I guess they probably were working on both these albums at the same time, but like, it's kind of funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll get more into those next week. But I was pleasantly surprised by both of those.
And then also one thing I forgot to put down, which you may have already been going into, but there was also the Adele track that came out.
I did listen to that as well.
I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's Adele.
It was an Adele track. Yeah. It wasn't like bad or like even like mid though. It was pretty good. It's just, I guess it's not completely a sound for me, but I can recognize that it's good.
Yeah. No, she's got a great voice.
Yeah,
and that's
great ballad.
Oh yeah. But yeah, I liked it. I'll definitely listen to the album when that comes out next month as well. But yeah, and then You want to go into the Imagine Dragons?
Yeah, and then also yesterday, Imagine Dragons said, well, they put on like their socials that they re-released some of their early EPs, and some of you may know, but like Imagine Dragons is one of the first groups I really got into, and I'm happy to say that those early EPs still really hold up. Like honestly, some of their best work is literally in those EPs, and I don't think you've listened to them before. I really implore it. Each of them, they end each of them with like a new song that like never was like released or whatever, but all the last songs that they put on there are kind of like, yeah, there's definitely a reason this was unfinished and not put on here. But looking aside from those, there's some really fucking good bangers on there. Like there's a song Curse on the first one. There's oh god, they're escaping me right now. Pantomime, that's on the It's Time EP. That's another really fucking good song. Oh, Emma, it's another great one. There's like one on each of the, like, it's 3 little EPs. There's like at least one song on each of them that I think is like literally one of their best songs.
Oh, wow.
So yeah,
that's pretty great.
They're really good, and I implore you to check them out. And if you guys like some pop rock stuff, honestly, it's really solid stuff, and it sounds like there's passion, and it's not really like corporate a lot of Imagine Dragons tends to be. It's some really good stuff. You sent me that yesterday, and I was like, ooh, I'll have to listen to those, but I forgot about them because of the Mac and FINNEAS. And and I forgot about those because of Imagine Dragons.
Which one's better? So.
I don't know. We'll have to see. And then also for me, the Lovejoy released another EP. Very surprisingly, like it was just earlier this week. They're like, I mean, they've been teasing one, but then earlier this week they're like, yeah, it'll be out on Friday, and they're like, JK, it'll be out Thursday. I'm like, okay, all right. And it's pretty good. I need to give it some more listens, but it's been growing on me with each listen. I think I still kind of like the little EP they released earlier this year a little bit more. I think the songs are a little more catchier, have a little more charisma to them. But these ones are pretty good, and they're catching on. The last song on there, It's All Futile, It's All Pointless. That's the name of the song. It's a pretty good hand, though.
A line taken straight out of the Dream SMP.
Is it actually?
I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised.
It just sounds like something Wilbur would say. It's all futile. It's all pointless.
Tommy.
Show me in it. Oh fuck! I thought it'd be like right there. Do I not have?
What the hell?
All right, I don't have internet anymore. Okay, whatever. I don't remember the names of the other songs, but there's a few other good ones on there. The internet on my PC just to stop working.
Yeah, that's great.
That's great. Good thing we aren't streaming this or something. But yeah, I might give more updates. I don't know where that came from. I might give more updates on that as time goes on. But for now, it's a pretty good EP. And also, I just want to shout out, and this was consistent with their last EP too, their fucking drummer in this band is so good. It brings so much character.
Oh, is he banging? Music.
Yeah, he bangs them drums.
He's banging those drums.
Yeah, Ringo. Ringo. I don't know. British people are funny.
Ringo.
There you go.
Ringo's
Shut up, Ringo. All right. That's so dumb.
Just popped into a random fucking British accent.
Yeah, I was like done with the bit too. Like I was speaking normal American.
Maybe you're British.
I was going back to my 1700 roots.
Going back to my roots.
Yeah.
Another Imagine Dragons song.
Yeah.
Full circle.
Yeah, there we go. But yeah, Lovejoy EP is pretty good. But I think I still prefer the first one.
That's another one I have to listen to.
Yeah, you should listen to both of those. They're nice and short. I think this new one is like 20 minutes, somewhere in there. I think it's like 7 songs.
Oh, okay. So it's a little longer than the first one.
Yeah, the first one's like literally 12 minutes, but that one's really good. But it took me a few listens for the first one and this next one with each listen, I'm like getting it a little bit more. I'm like, oh, okay. It's a little more like, I wouldn't call it like punk, but it definitely has a little more of like a punk-ish energy to it. So it's like a little more for me to connect with it. I like an indie punk, I guess. I don't know.
All right.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the announcements and releases for this week, and now we can dive into the
Thursday.
the meat of the podcast, the meat and potatoes of the week.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I guess we could just kind of give like a in order of things that happen. You know.
Yeah. I know we filmed a couple things. So.
We did. I'm gonna figure out how I want to do that. I'm guessing what I'm gonna do, just since if I have more time, I'd probably do a thing where like I'd intersperse it with when we talk about it. But like, since I gotta get this edited, like probably tonight, I'm just gonna put a collection of clips at some point. Oh, okay. We can do like a little transition or something. Be like, this are the clips. Thanks for watching the clips.
Thanks for watching those clips, guys.
Yeah. But yeah, there's some like little clips in there that you'll see later of us in the moments. But day starts off. I have to go to a class in the morning.
I skipped my class.
Yeah, I mean, I had like, it's not like a test or something, but it's like a singing. Well, I guess it was like a singing test for one of the classes, and like you can't really make those up, so kind of had to be there for that. Right. And then we did that. We walked to your car and like a little bit of a drizzle.
Yeah. Got
some Wendy's.
Wendy's nuts.
Yeah. And speaking of nuts, Colin had him out. Okay.
No.
No, I'm kidding. You got complimented by someone.
Yes, I got my nails complimented by the window lady at Wendy's. That was nice.
Yeah.
But then we made our way to
Chicago.
Kind of to
yeah
near where we live.
Picked up one of my buddies.
We got there. He didn't have his vaccination card, so he had to meet his mom somewhere, and then we headed to Chicago.
Yeah, and he said he didn't really want to be in any of the videos, which that's cool. Yeah. But he was there. He had a good time as well. Thanks for coming, buddy. Yeah. If you're listening, love you more.
No, you don't.
Wow, Colin is usurping my friend. Friend. I don't know.
Friend. Throne.
Friend. The throne is my friend. Yeah, there was the vaccine card thing, but honestly, I don't think it was too big of a detour. Yeah. I mean, we were going to be heading north anyway.
No, it wasn't bad at all.
Then there was a little scare with mine as well.
Yeah.
I was like pretty sure I had it. It was like in one of my folders. I'm like, I literally haven't taken it out of here, and I know it came down to college with me.
Right.
But it wasn't in the folder. I was like, it's probably just in the bottom of my bag, and it was. But I could kind of feel from you, like, Mike, I swear to fucking God.
If you don't at least have a fucking picture of this thing, I'm gonna kill you.
Yeah. Yeah.
But no, you had it, and I was kind of getting a little.
Yeah.
But no, it was all good.
Yeah.
And then we made our way to Chicago.
Yes, sir.
And traffic wasn't too bad on the way there.
There were some funny moments with your radio. We were listening to just a mix you made of 21 Pilots and Half Alive.
Yeah.
And as we got there, I guess the station it was on was just like cutting in and out between that and like a pretty hip hop like station. Yeah. And I was like, wow, haven't heard these 21 Pilots songs before.
Yeah, that was
funny moments there.
But it's always cool seeing the city as you drive up to it.
Oh yeah.
You see the skyline from when it's super small, and then it gets huge, and you're like, whoa, this huge tower.
It's like, whoa.
Yeah. But traffic wasn't too bad, and we parked in our sketchy little alley.
Yeah.
Which was it was kind of interesting. We passed it once, and then we had to drive around, and then we found it, and I was like, ooh, this is spooky.
Yeah, I don't know where you got those tickets from.
It was on like
I get parking pass. I guess.
It was on like an official like app, so like
it just seemed very sketchy. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you could have just parked there without having paid it. I don't think anybody would have noticed, but I paid $15 bucks for that. So.
Buckaroos. Yeah, it was next to a building that looked like it had a fire as well.
Yeah, it was a little sketch.
Yeah,
but we didn't get stabbed at all, so
yeah,
all good. And it was right next to the Aragon, so
yeah, it was like a couple blocks away. So.
Yeah. And then we got out of the car, walked to the Aragon. We got our little we got our unofficial wristbands with our numbers. We were in the first 400 to get there.
Your number's 380 through 382.
Yeah. That was pretty cool. And then they were like, "Hey, we're not gonna line up for another couple hours, so you guys can walk around and stuff." And I was like, "Okay." But
yeah, we went to find a bathroom. I got a beef stick at Walgreens.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
A little time wise here, this is like 2:00 in the afternoon.
Yeah.
We left here at like 11ish,
yeah.
And yeah, we were there almost 4 hours before the doors opened. Which was
I honestly wasn't expecting to get into the first 500 because I was looking on Twitter, seeing like what was going on, seeing like if I could see how the line was doing, and I did see that they were doing that wristband thing. I'm like, oh, okay, we're probably not going to make that. But I think we made that like kind of just in time. I think literally if we came like 20 minutes later or something, we probably wouldn't have had that.
Definitely not.
And yeah, I mean, we'll get a little into it, but like it was kind of a mess, and I think it's good that we did have the wristband though.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Because otherwise we probably could have gotten really screwed over.
But yeah, it was. Yeah, we just walked around for a little while. We came back and we started lining up, and then
we came back and like people were like in a big line already, and we're like, oh, are we doing wristbands?
Yeah, I asked somebody, I was like, wait, what's your number? They're like, oh, we're not in number order. We just COVID stuff. I was like, oh, okay. And then we went all the way to the back, and then like maybe 20 minutes, maybe 15. I don't know how long it was, but it was like within a few minutes, and they were like, all right, now we're gonna start lining up in order, I guess.
Not it was not announced like that even.
Yeah,
we like went into like two different lines, and then like it was like super disorganized between the people who actually worked there and like the people who were organizing the wristband thing. There was one guy who was nice and down to earth, like, I don't know what's going on with these wristbands, but like you figured out before like 4:30 or something like that.
Because like I said, it was unofficial, and they were like, "We didn't do this. This is you guys." So.
Yeah. Yeah, and like I don't know. We were like there was like two lines, and we're just like in one of them, and then everyone's like, "So how are we gonna do this wristband thing?" Because no one was anywhere where they needed to be. Somehow it kind of worked itself out a little bit over time. We realized we were in the wrong line. And we went to the other one.
Yeah.
Got a place, talked to some friendly people around, I guess. And yeah.
My mom and my sister were coming to the concert too, and they didn't get to leave as early as we did. So I was a little worried about them being near us, and eventually we weren't really able to be next to each other, but that was okay. We all got to enjoy the show at the same time, and they got to see a good spot like we did. But like they got there at like I don't know 4:30 4:45, and it was like hey because they didn't notice me at first. They were just kind of walking by. I was like, hey. They're probably like, who the fuck? But they're like, oh, hi. But yeah, it was good to see my mom and my sister. And then, maybe like an hour and a half go by, and we finally start moving a little bit. And before we start moving, there was this girl coming by with like, she's like trash. A candy stuff, and I was like, okay, yeah. And then she came back the last time, and she was like going back towards the front of the line, and she was like, anybody got trash? And I was like, right here, and I was pointing at my shirt that had Trash the Dragon on it, and she was like, we love ourselves in this community. I was like, I was talking about the shirt, but me too.
Yeah.
I was like, sheesh.
I I think she said it positively, but I don't know.
It was positive.
Yeah.
But she was like, we love ourselves in this community. And I was like, okay. I was talking about the shirt.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I thought it was just funny in general because like she went by a few times and like was saying trash. Or whatever. And I was like, it's funny because we're all nerds and we're all thinking it. Like we're all thinking of Trash the Dragon. Like every time she's saying it, trash. Anyone got trash? It's like
it's going through.
Yeah, it's going through all of our minds. And I'm like, there's no way that's the only time she heard someone say something like that, though. Like,
I don't know. I guess I was the only one that was loud enough.
Maybe. I don't know.
But, and then we started moving up a little bit. We saw this funny mural on the wall next to the venue.
Had some funny faces on there.
And then we were almost in the building when Tyler, in a blacked out SUV, came by at the roof. Mm-hmm. With his arms like this. We were like right at the entrance. Well, not like, but we were like on like the street going to the entrance, and you're just walking there, minding our own business. My buddy just took a picture right beforehand of like basically where Tyler was. And then all of a sudden we just hear like screams from behind us. I was like, what the hell's going on? Whoa! He was just like right there down the street. I wish I noticed when he was like right next to us. I would have taken a picture, dude.
Yeah.
Like, he was just out the top of the SUV and I was like, Tyler!
Yeah. And he goes into like this little alleyway or whatever to go to where he needs to be. But I was like, oh my God.
Damn. I've never been that close to Tyler Joseph before.
Not yet.
And
foreshadowing.
But like as we were walking by, we were like cracking jokes as we were getting in the venue, and I was like, was he in a band or something?
Yeah.
But I was like, that guy looks familiar. But yeah, we made it in, and they had a weird setup. It was like 3 lines when you get past like the metal detectors and everything, and there was the middle line. The middle line went in first, which was weird to start off with, and then they went right, and then we were on the left side, and we got in last, so we were like, uh-oh.
Yeah, I think it was supposed to be some sort of way to avoid. Honestly, looking back on it, probably what it was is, remember how crammed it was getting out of there?
Oh, yeah.
It was probably just to avoid that going in there.
Definitely.
But it was not really communicated well, and it was just kind of like, okay, this is an interesting way of doing this.
Yeah. And, like, the middle line was supposed to be stopped after, like, the first, group of people that was in that line had been let through, but they just kept letting people in.
People that were like kind of significantly behind us, just like going straight through. It's
and like what the fuck. And then 5 minutes later we got let into the venue, and we were pretty close. We were like maybe 100 feet from the stage, and we were like, I was like, I'm fucking thirsty as fuck, but I don't want to move.
Yeah, my feet were already tired. I was already like, I want to sit down. I'm like, I'm not gonna be able to sit down for a while.
We had already been standing for about 4 hours straight at that point.
Yeah.
So yeah, we were hurting a little bit. I was parched, but it was worth it. And
and there was, I believe this happened. Yeah, this happened before the first act. But like, we could kind of just like hear from behind us. It was some people that we talked to in the line, and they were nice people. But she kind of just kept complaining that she couldn't see anything, and that she was shorter, and that she kind of like hated it, and like I don't know, was just complaining. And I was like thinking to myself, I'm like, maybe we should offer to like let them go in front or something. I don't know, but also at the same time, it's like,
she's just like, I can't see anything. I'm too short. Like, and he was like, do you want to move? And she was like, well, no, but like, I can't see anything.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
I get it, but like, when they come out, it's not gonna matter.
Yeah.
And then they were like, would you guys mind if you guys can totally say no, but would you guys mind if we, got in front of you? Because I can't see. And I'm like, and I look at you.
Yeah, honestly, the only reason I accepted is because we kind of were in a patch where there was shorter people in front of us at the time. Like I was like, okay, I'm pretty sure if she were here, nothing would be obstructing her or whatever. If there was like more tall people in front of us, I would have been like, it's not going to get any better. Yeah. But like, I think at that time I was like, yeah, I mean, I think she could see a little better. It's okay if we're like one person back.
Yeah, we let them both up in front of us, and I was like, it's not that bad. And she went to go get water and food and stuff, and then she came back, and he was like, hey, do you want some water? I was like, oh my god, yes.
Yeah, he offered us some water, which was really nice.
He gave us like a half a cup of water. I was like,
yeah, that was enough for you to chug and me to get a couple sips in.
I was like dying.
And my buddy didn't consume like anything all night.
Yeah,
I don't know how
crazy.
he did that.
And then before the act started, there were people like handing out water bottles up front, and I was like, oh my god.
Well, I think it was happening during the act, if I remember correctly.
It might have been during Half Alive.
Because I remember seeing people going like this or whatever. I thought it was like, okay, they're just getting into the music, and I was like, oh no, there's water bottles coming.
Yeah, and luckily we both got one of those.
Yeah,
at
like, some point. Yeah.
Oh my god, water. But that helped me over afterwards.
That helped me a lot too. I held my water bottle for the rest of the time because I was just dumb. But
I was smart, and I crinkled mine up and put it in my pocket.
Yeah.
So I'm just cooler than you.
I guess so.
Yeah, and
but
then,
first act went on.
Arrested Youth came on a lot earlier than expected.
Like a half hour early.
Yeah, it was like 6.
They're supposed to start at 7, and then 6:30. I was like, okay.
The drummer comes out and he just starts banging on the drums and he's like,
yeah.
What time is it?
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, okay, I guess they're starting now. And they came on, and the first couple songs I was like, okay, yeah, this is pretty good. And then they kept going on, and I was like, okay. And then the last couple songs, like,
I thought it was decent. I mean, it was very much a lot of the same.
Yeah.
But not in a painful way like Max Frost was when we went to the Bandito tour.
Yeah.
Like, I don't really know much about Max Frost. Maybe he's a good guy. I remember hearing one of his songs beforehand and being like, oh, that's a pretty good song. And I remember hearing his set, and that was the only song. I was like, oh, that's a pretty good song. Everything else, like, he was just in a big arena, just him and a guitar.
Yeah.
And whatever. And all the songs sounded the same. But these guys, at least, they had a little bit of energy to them.
Yeah.
And, like, even though all the songs sounded the same, I guess it wasn't a bad sound.
No. The drummer and the guitarist were definitely into it. And the singer was having fun, too. He was but, like, nobody really knew who they were. And he was like, we're Arrested Youth, and we're hoping to win you over here.
They're like, how many of this is your first Arrested Youth concert? I was like, probably all of us.
And he was like, yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
But, they were charismatic. They had fun. Their music was okay. The second to last song was a little preachy, and I was like,
I kind of wasn't paying attention to the lyrics.
Yeah, he was just like, God, I love God. God loves me. It's like, okay.
Gotcha.
Subtle.
Yeah, they definitely had a very big, like, 21 Pilots influence as well. Like, but it was kind of like the cringier parts of 21 Pilots. Like, I don't know, the rapping was okay, but it was like, this sounds like Tyler Joseph, and you're doing it just in every single song. Like, it starts off the exact same way. I felt
it's like no fun intended, Tyler.
no, it's like early rapping, in 21 Pilots.
Yeah. But I mean, it was okay. But
yeah,
we got to talk about this.
Yeah. You informed me of this, and then I looked more into it as we were driving home. This is just like the dumbest shit.
Stupid as fuck.
So you were telling me beforehand that they were having some Nazi allegations, but even at the time you were like, yeah, no, it seems like some dumb shit.
Yeah.
And I don't know, like there was apparently like petitions for people to turn around during their set, which did not happen.
So the night before, I was on Twitter, and the Illinois Clique, which is like the 21 Pilots fan base in Illinois, were like, hey, there's some, people are saying that arrested youth is, have Nazi connections or whatever. They're Nazis. And I'm like, all right, let me look into this. And then it was like, he wears a red armband, which was a Nazi symbol that Hitler and the Nazis wore in World War II. And I'm like, okay, but that's not like traditionally.
It was mostly the swastika on that armband that made a difference.
And then he had like rune tattoos on his body that people were like, oh, this looks like Nazi symbolism. And then they said that the logo for the band looks like the SS or like a rune or whatever that the Nazis used. And it's like, I've never seen that before. And sure, maybe it looks a little like that, but I don't think that's what they were going for.
Honestly, even that was a stretch.
Yeah,
like, I was looking
all
at
of this
that.
was a stretch.
All of it.
Yeah.
Like, it was very obvious their logo was supposed to be the A and the Y for like arrested youth. And like, if you squinted and flipped the image like over
and distorted it a little bit,
pixelated it. I could maybe see it and drew new lines on it.
But like it was so fun. And he has an Eiffel Tower tattooed on his like next to his shoulder, and people are like, oh my god, that's the first place that the Nazis took over in World War II. And it's like are you fucking kidding me?
There's so many other symbolisms an Eiffel Tower could have for him.
I don't know, maybe it symbolizes Paris.
Maybe
he likes France. Maybe his family's from France.
I think that's a bit of a stretch. I think it definitely is for Nazis.
Oh, yeah, you're definitely
if you are
right.
tattooing the Eiffel Tower on you, you are a Nazi.
yeah. And then fucking.
This was the stupidest one to me, and like I'm not sure if you knew this one beforehand, but I saw it quite a bit when I was looking through Twitter afterwards. They were being criticized for using the colors black, red, and white. Because those are Nazi colors. And I'm like, okay, these are literally 21 Pilots fans doing this. Their biggest era ever, 21 Pilots, was black, red, and white. Like blurry face. Those are literally the blurry face colors.
Yep.
And there's other people making like connections as well, like in some of the videos and like some of the imagery in the 21 Pilots stuff. Tyler has a red armband. Like I think it was in Ride and in Fairly Local.
Yeah, it was like early blurry face era.
Early blurry face, they had that as well. And like, someone was even like showing some things like some of the demo like images or whatever. Like they're like, oh look, if you really wanted to, you could say, oh, this kind of looks like this vague Nazi symbol. Like it's like if you like try like making. If you try forcing the connections, people who are naive enough will be like, "Oh my god, that does kind of look like that."
Right? And it's
like horoscopes.
Honestly,
it's like, oh, that vaguely resembles like what they said.
Like he was, and then there were people like, "Oh, he doesn't support Black Lives Matter."
Yeah,
and
that's
like,
another. Yeah.
And it was like. He said something about it, which sure I could see as some people being like, okay, that's a little questionable, but he was like, I just didn't want to say anything about it because I didn't want to risk being canceled. Like you say anything about it and anybody's gonna come after you.
Yeah, and
that's kind of like what Tyler did. Only, well, like not really, but like the people.
It was up until the joke, honestly. Yeah.
And like Tyler. The people that canceled Tyler over Black Lives Matter were the same people, I'm sure, who were trying to cancel this dude over being a Nazi, which he isn't. And on the way back home, Mike saw a tweet that said, there are people on my team, and my mother is Jewish.
Yeah.
And no, I'm not a Nazi. I've always supported Black Lives Matter. What the fuck?
Yeah.
I'm sorry that the band's imagery is being construed for something it's absolutely not, but it's not. I'm not a Nazi. And then he's like, we're no longer going to be using this imagery anymore. We're going to like completely redo our stuff now.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's so fucked up.
It really is. And like, I don't know. It's just like, what... the conclusions that people jump to and then absolutely convince themselves of, and like, I mean, this happens on Twitter all the fucking time, like when it comes to people getting canceled, like all this stuff happening. And then also like, as I was reading replies, I was slowly losing faith in people's cognitive thinking skills. Because like, there would be people, showing these vague things, and then like replies like, "Oh my god, I never realized," or whatever. Like, "Oh my, I'm so sorry that I, enjoyed their set at the show," or something like that. It's like, what the fuck? Use some thinking skills. Don't see a random person on Twitter saying something and being like, "Oh, what they're saying must be factual."
Yeah.
It's like.
But yeah, another thing I saw is like he follows some problematic guy, or like he had a couple interactions on Twitter with a guy who was problematic, and people were like, this is not an apology, and it's like, what the fuck does he have to apologize for? You should be apologizing to him. This is fucked up.
Yeah.
And it's like, and people are like, you say all this stuff, but you're still best friends with this problematic guy, and it's like. And somebody replied to that. It was like, he had a couple interactions with them. I wouldn't call that best friends.
Yeah.
And it's like, what the fuck, man? Like, it's a cool logo, too. Like, now they have to get rid of that. And he has to stop wearing the armbands and shit. He wasn't wearing a red armband at the show. It was a white armband. It was a white one, yeah. And it's like, guys, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Like, I love 21 Pilots, but their fan base is just...
The bad parts of the fan base are really bad. Yeah. Yeah, and like also, oh god, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, and like what you were saying about like him being associated with someone problematic, literally could be flipped on its head too if this was another part of like Stan Twitter or whatever, like where we could be talking something about 21 Pilots, and then they're being like, oh, or no, not even about 21 Pilots, just about something else, and then someone going through our things like, oh, you support 21 Pilots? Tyler Joseph once said that racist thing, and he is a big racist. And, like, taking things completely out of context and judging someone off of one thing that, like, was extremely apologized for and out of context. And, like, it's like people just want to hate other people sometimes. And, like,
people just want people to
they will look for things to get people canceled. Like, and that's That's why I hate, like, the whole, like, oh, you associate with someone who's problematic. Like, I don't know.
Like, when people are canceled and it's holy shit.
Yeah.
It's going to be a long one, guys.
Yeah.
And if it's, warranted, then I completely understand it.
Yeah.
But if it's just coming after somebody for some vague fucking thing that has nothing to do with anything, it's bullshit.
Yeah.
And then there was some person during their set that on their phone wrote Nazi on stage and like held it towards the crowd. And I was like, oh, my God. Yeah. And your buddy was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, no, I didn't see that. That's something that must have been like blocking my view for that. Yeah, no, that's fucked up.
Yeah.
At first, because there was a bit of a crowd reaction, like a little like whoa or something like that. And then I was like, well, what just happened? I missed something. And I thought what you said is like someone like threw a sign on stage that said that, and I would have felt completely awful if that happened. That would have like killed the mood for the rest of the night, honestly. Yeah.
No,
but still
would have been thrown out too.
Yeah, still whatever they did was just fucked up.
Yeah, it was fucked.
Yeah, with the showing to the, I don't know. Yeah. It's just.
But I feel for the guy.
Me too.
He was, they're obviously passionate about what they do, and I feel bad for them having to completely rebrand themselves now, but I hope they, come back from this and they're, people back off from it, because that's fucked up. But yeah, that was Arrested Youth. Just wanted to get that out of the way, because
they were fine. The whole cancellation part was stupid as fuck.
I was pretty heated about that.
Yeah, me too. Especially when reading it afterwards, like all this stuff. It's like half the shit can be relayed right back onto 21 Pilots if they really wanted to. But not in like a bad way, obviously. I don't, whatever. I'm done. They were fine.
And then about 10, 15 minutes later, maybe 20, Half Alive came out.
Yeah.
And that was a much needed mood enhancer.
Yeah.
Because that was very fun.
Yeah, for a long time, I mean, I've thought that, well, I just realized I'm wearing the shirt, Half Alive. I got it at the concerts. But I have thought, like, that these guys would be a great opener, basically since, like, Still Feeling like those singles were coming out. I was like, okay, now that they're making their own thing, they would be a great opener for 21 Pilots. And there was a live reaction on the podcast to when they were announced to be the opener. It was in your house, I remember.
Too.
And yeah, no, they did great. Like, I think they did a great job building up the hype for 21 Pilots as well.
You know, it's funny because the first song they played was in their era where they were compared to 21 Pilots.
It was the song. Yeah, it was the song they got, like, shit on for, like, this is just 21 Pilots ripoff.
They came out and played The Fall. Mm-hmm. And you know what? Everybody loved it. So
it's a great song.
It was very fun. And I didn't know the whole thing, but that chorus was very fun to sing along with.
Oh, yeah.
And then they played Runaway. Tiptoes, Still Feel, Summerland, and Make of It.
Yeah, and What's Wrong.
And did they play What's Wrong?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, they did. But Make of It was the only song that was, like, kind of meh in there. Yeah. I like it's grown on me a lot since it came out. I know it's...
I can't say the same. Yeah. I'm pretty disappointed.
Which, I get it. But their performance was really cool. They did a lot of cool visuals. One for Tiptoes where they're like behind a curtain with a flashlight.
Yeah, and you'll see that in the videos. I took a video of that one for the podcast.
Yeah. But it was super cool. The dancing was awesome. Ever since they were doing that when they were playing shows, I was like, I want to see that live.
Yeah.
And it was, it was great. I'm very happy with their performance.
Me too. Yeah, they had a really... Well, their set list itself was kind of just decent, but like the songs that were really good, they were really fucking good, and the visuals were astounding. Oh, yeah. I think that's the best visuals I've ever seen an opening band do. And yeah, I would love to see a full concert from them too, like as the headliners, longer than a 30-minute set. And their 30-minute set like didn't feel like that in a good way. It felt like it was sufficient for an opening set.
Yeah. No, it was very good. And then they got done at like 7:30, and we had another half hour before 21 Pilots came out, and our feet were really starting to ache, and we're like, "Come on, I need a distraction from this pain."
Yeah.
And finally, the lights went out, and there was a mass pushing.
Oh yes,
up to the
which I was
barricade.
Not ready for.
I was not either. But like it came out of nowhere, and we were just like, yeah! And then all of a sudden we're like, whoa! And we were canned in there like sardines.
Yeah.
Sardines in a crushed tin can.
Yeah, packed like sardines in a crushed tin box, I believe, is the name of that Radiohead song, which is not even that great.
But yeah, they came out in ski masks, cool glasses, and white shirts and black pants, and they just looked at us for a second, and they looked at each other, and then they looked at the piano and drums, and then they went and they played Good Day.
Yeah.
Great opener.
Which you'll also see.
Yes. But yeah, that was, oh my god, the rush that you get when they come out is just fucking crazy.
Yeah, and I can safely say that's the closest I've ever been packed in at a concert. Yeah. I was uncomfortably close to some people, especially in the beginning.
Yeah.
But after that was a little more separated from at least I don't know, I was basically like grinding on a person like unintentionally and I could not get out of the position. I felt really bad. But after that was, separated. Yeah, I mean, it was still pretty tightly packed, but like honestly I got over it after a little bit, and like it was still kind of pretty cool being in there and being close, and everyone was close, and, but it was a really good show. I mean,
they went from good chances to good chances, Good Day to no chances, and like, oh man, that drop from Good Day into no chances was like fucking crazy.
Yeah.
And then at the end Tyler goes back, he grabs an acoustic guitar, and it's like it's over the end of the and it's like, oh my god. And then his head was smoking, and it was like they put like a fog machine in his ski mask.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't know what that's for. I don't know if it's lore or if it's just for cool visuals, but it's sick.
It does look really cool.
And then he takes off the ski mask and he jumps off the stage.
Yeah, just
it was fucking crazy though.
Yeah.
Just seeing him fly off the stage, and it's
yeah.
like, okay, bye. And then, yeah, a great opener to the show, and then it was just so loud.
Yeah, it was, and like, I apologize for the videos because you're definitely going to hear me in quite a few of them. Sorry about that, but
I'm sure you'll hear me too, but it'll be a little. You'd have to really pick me out.
Yeah,
because it's loud.
Yeah. Also, this is the first time I was hearing Colin like screaming.
Yeah.
I was like, I didn't know you were capable of it.
Yeah. Throughout the whole show, I was getting super into it because like my first concert I went to Shinedown at Ribfest. And we got there super early, so I got to like be on the barricade.
Yeah. And
that was cool, but like not even being on the barricade for 21 Pilots was enough. Like we were still close enough to where it was like fucking crazy.
I'm kind of scared of the people who were at the barricade. I felt like they could have gotten like literally crushed.
Oh yeah.
Like with the way that crowd pushed up.
Yeah. But I think they're like, I don't even give a fuck. I get to hold up Tyler Joseph.
Pretty much. Yeah.
But like, yeah, they played a lot of good shit. They did a medley of they did in the live stream where they did Migraine, and then Morph, and then the end of Holding On to You, and like Mike got his Morph. That was
I got my Morph.
He got his Morph.
That's the song I chose last week. Colin has basically the set list memorized, but
yeah.
For me, I had looked at it like once when they first performed it, maybe a couple times, but I hadn't looked at it like in a few weeks, so like a lot of it was kind of surprising for me, like Morph. I didn't expect them to do that one, but I was very pleasantly surprised to hear a bit of it.
And we finally got to do the that they started doing after our show at the Bandito Tour.
That's right, yeah.
Which I was like, yes.
We also got Chlorine for the first time too, because that was missing in our first show, right?
It was.
You were pissed about that.
I was. Chlorine is still one of my favorites off of Trench. I love that song so much.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad we got to hear it. And then, Josh. No, that's later into the show, but Josh was on a drum island for Saturday.
Yeah.
And he was maybe 10 feet away from us.
Yeah, there was literally probably like 5 people, or maybe a little more, maybe like 7 people between like us and him. Yeah. And like I was like, oh my god, and that's also in the video highlights. He's right there.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he was right there, and I was like, oh my god, it's Josh Dunn.
That's so fucking sick.
I know.
That was probably the closest either of them had gotten to us in the show. Although we'll get into it, but Trees was also pretty close.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, that was like super close. I was like, oh my god.
Yeah. But like the set list was so good. Mm-hmm. They played Mulberry Street, and then halfway through they went into Benny and the Jets by Elton John, and that was fucking great.
Yeah, that was a great transition between the two.
And they sounded good, like really good. My dad asked me how the concert was yesterday, and I was like, oh, it was so good. And I was like, they did a cover of Benny and the Jets. He's like, oh, Benny and the Jets, that's a hard one. I was like, and my dad is like, he doesn't care what you listen to. Like, he won't judge what you listen to, but if he hears it, he'll tell you what he thinks about it. And I was like, and he does not like 21 Pilots. And I was like, they did Benny and the Jets. I sent him the video. And even him, the most critical person ever, was like, not bad. Yeah. I was like,
Benny and the Jets is a really difficult one because it's like slow, but also has a groove to it. And it's like very on the beat and so easy to speed up with. Oh, yeah. And like they didn't. They were right in that.
Yeah. And Tyler was able to hold out that note like crazy.
Oh yeah.
And it's just like, oh my god, I fucking loved it. And then they went right back into Mulberry Street, and it was like, oh my god. And Tyler was like, this one's for my dad. He's here tonight. Yeah. I was like, hell yeah.
I hope he is up in the balcony.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, I don't think Tyler would have let him.
Probably not. His dad gets crushed at his own show.
But yeah, and then they did Jumpsuit,
Mm-hmm.
the whole song.
Yeah.
Which I was not expecting. I thought they were just gonna go, half a Jumpsuit into like Heavy Dirty Soul.
I thought that's what they had been doing, to be honest.
I thought so too, but they did the whole song, and I completely fucked my voice.
Yeah.
I was actually screaming during Jumpsuit.
Yeah.
When he was, and I was like, I don't know if I annoyed the people next to me, but like I didn't even give a fuck.
Honestly, I didn't hear the screams during that time, but I was also very invested in Jumpsuit. So
yeah. And then in the chorus when they're throwing in the music video when they're throwing the pedals down, the pedals came down from the ceiling, and I got one right there.
Yeah, and there's video of that one too. But honestly, I was looking back at it earlier. That video doesn't capture how that moment felt in concert. That was truly magical, like listening to the bridge of Jumpsuit and then having those pedals coming down on top of the crowd. I wasn't expecting those. I was like, oh my god. Like that was a highlight of the show.
Beautiful. And like something about listening to the bridge and like having my hand up trying to catch a pedal felt like special for some reason.
For sure.
I don't know why, but like I felt like ooh.
I mean, we talked about it in our music videos but like Jumpsuit has some of my favorite visuals in a music video ever. Part of the reason is like that scene where the pedals are coming down over them, and like just I don't know, like having that happen in the crowd is such a fucking genius like set design, I guess is what that would be, to like have during that moment, and I'm so glad that they do that. It's one of my favorite parts of the show.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
And then they went right into Heavy Dirty Soul, and I got to experience Heavy Dirty Soul live for the first time. And oh my god.
Oh no, they definitely did that when I saw them in Blurry Face. I was gonna say, is that mine too? No, they definitely did that one.
But like holy shit, it was so good, and like. He screamed at the end of Jumpsuit, and then he screamed right after at the end of Heavy Dirty Soul. It's like, how the fuck are you able to do that?
Yeah.
And like early in the show when he did the medley of those 3 songs, he screamed for the Holding On to You.
Yeah.
And it's like, holy shit, dude. How?
Yeah. He does a lot of screaming.
I was fucked after Jumpsuit. I wanted to scream at the end of Heavy Dirty Soul, but I could not.
Yeah.
And then they did Ride, and that's when Tyler did his little crowd is standing, and he was like right there. He was like maybe 20 feet away, and I was like, hi. I took a video of him. I swear to God, he looked right into my camera. It looks like it, but he probably didn't. But it's still very cool to think that he did.
Yeah. He was looking right at you.
He was looking right at me. He saw my nails. He was like, nice nails. What else happened? A lot happened.
Yeah, there was a lot. I mean, the little. They did like a little acoustic set. With like it's like them singing around a fire, which I don't know. A lot of my opinion on that came from watching Brad's video on that, which was like the first time they performed this set, and it was at like a festival, and he just did not like it at all. And when they like were setting it up, I was like, oh, okay, we're going into this. But honestly, it was pretty fun. Like even if like. Those are some of their weaker songs that they sing there, like Formidable or Doubt, I guess. It was fun. Like, I mean, they look like they were having a great time doing it. And there's like they do a few like funny moments in there.
One of the they had the backing band with them. We haven't mentioned that, but they had the backing band with them.
Yeah.
And one of them had a violin. Dr. Bloom had his trumpet. And they were singing.
Actually, I think Dr. Bloom was on an accordion during that.
Oh yeah, he did have his accordion, but he had the trumpet.
He had the trumpet afterwards. Yeah.
They did My Girl, but they instead of saying My Girl, they said Josh Dunn. And Josh was just like. But that was fun.
He got like so many shout outs on
he did.
I mean, it's fair.
Anything or No Chances, he was like my son. It was Josh Dunn. Yeah, but that little fire set was fun.
Yeah.
I thought it was
cute little interlude.
I heard a lot of people like, I don't like this very much.
That's what I heard too, but honestly I thought it was a nice little thing.
I thought it was very cute. And they the little acoustic Tear in My Heart and We Don't Believe What's on TV and holy shit.
This is gonna be a fucking long episode.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Mike.
It's okay.
And then Yeah, but that was very fun. And then was right after that when Dr. Bloom did the Halo.
I believe so. Yeah.
Dr. Bloom got
a Halo solo.
Yeah, he just did the fucking Halo theme on his trumpet, and it was like, what? But it was so cool though.
It was cool. I was just like, okay.
Odd choice, but very cool. He just had this really cool spotlight on him, and I got a cool picture of that.
What did that transition into? Because I remember it kind of had a cool transition.
I don't remember. I think it might have been Message Man.
Oh, it was Message Man. Yeah.
That was sick as well. Tyler just
actually, maybe it wasn't because I feel like he did the Black Hands thing earlier on. Keep talking.
Yeah. For Message Man, Tyler brings out this bowl, and we're like, "What is that?" And it was definitely he did Message Man after the Outside, which was a little early in the show.
Yeah, I think that was
he had
earlier
the coat
in the show.
for the Outside, and he just brings out this bowl, and in Message Man, he just puts his hand in the bowl, he takes him out, and there's black paint, and he's just like,
yeah, I'd seen that visual before, but it's still sick
sick as fuck. Like, I spoiled a lot of this show for myself, but like being there in person and experiencing it is way different. It's so fucking cool. And then they played Shy Away.
Shy Away was great.
Shy Away was fucking awesome.
And I knew it was coming, but like there's the they do a little mashup in there with I'm Not Okay, I Promise by My Chemical Romance, and I heard so much joy in Colin's voice. Like as soon as he started going to her, I was like, oh my god.
Yeah. I was like, it was getting towards like the end of the song. I was like, are they gonna do it? Did they take it out? And then like the lights go red and white, and I'm like, yeah!
I'd never heard you that loud. I was like, oh my god.
Oh, it was cathartic. It was so good, and they did so well. And then the way he starts doing the chorus to I'm Not Okay, and it goes right back to Shy Away when he goes to the scream. It's like, oh my god, it's so fucking good.
Yeah.
Oh. But yeah.
Then I think they go straight into Car Radio after that, I believe. And Car Radio is always a great crowd song. I'm glad they've kept that one on the set list, because I think I and a lot of the people who had known them before Blurry Face, that was like the first song that like a lot of us like appreciated from them, and like we're like, oh, we really like this song. Like Vessel era, I guess. But so I'm glad to see that one's still there, and then also it has great crowd moments. And he did the crowd surf, which honestly I thought they stopped doing. I didn't know they were still doing that. And maybe this might have been the first show where they did that again, where he gets onto the crowd and literally surfs them to a platform that's in the back of the ballroom. Which, by the way, that's always a cool moment for if you do get like a bad spot, because he still comes through and then he's at the back of the arena. It's like, oh, he's close.
But he swam all the way to the B stage kind of area, and I don't know if you people might not know, but like in a festival in like Europe, he did that once, and they just fucking mauled him. His shoe was gone, his shirt was ripped. But he still finished the song, and he was like, all right, Josh, we're done.
Pretty much, yeah.
He was like, we're 21 Pilots, bye.
But like, don't blame him for it.
Yeah, I don't either. That was fucked.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that's... I would be terrified of ever doing that again if I was him. Yeah. But, you know.
That's why I was surprised when he started doing it. I was like, oh my god.
He was treated very nicely on the way to the stage this show, though. Yeah. So, us Americans are better than Europeans, I guess.
British Tommy in it.
They're just salty that we won.
Pretty much. They were trying to get payback.
But yeah, that was sick. And then like the screams at the end of Car Radio, and when he tears off his mask, everyone's like, yeah. He took out his in-ear thing, and he was just like, oh.
Yeah.
I can't even fucking imagine what it's like to be in the middle of a crowd of 5,000 people just screaming at you.
And honestly, because I mean, he was saying like we alluded to earlier, that this is like literally his favorite venue in the world. and that lost the spot for a while, but he thinks it's back up there now.
Yeah.
And I gotta say, probably like him being in, like, imagine like having that view he did of that crowd and all those people in that beautiful venue, because I think we've described it before, but the Aragon, like, it has like gorgeous artwork on like the ceiling, and like the balcony itself is like designed like, I don't know, like an old opera house sort of.
It's like a starry night sky.
Yeah.
But there's like some swords above the stage and stuff.
Yeah, and I'm like, you know what I mean, like the balcony itself, like it feels like it's like
it's like a ballroom.
Yeah, and it looks gorgeous.
Yeah, it's fucking amazing. But yeah, he, like I said, it's 5,000 people capacity in there, but 5,000 people sounded like a stadium.
Yeah, oh, for sure.
It was fucking crazy how loud it got. There was one moment in the show where he was just like standing on stage for something. I don't know if they were singing at all, and he was just kind of like, and the whole venue was screaming. Yeah, and my ears were like, ugh.
Yeah, that was the only time in the show where I was like, oh god, I'm gonna lose some hearing tonight.
Yeah, but like,
and also I want to mention as well, I think it was during Lame Boy and Trees, there's like two moments where like they encourage like jumping or whatever, and that was the first time I'd ever like jumped with a crowd before, and honestly that was so fucking fun. And I want to do that more, like jumping in sync with the music and with everyone around you is so fucking cool.
That moment in Lame Boy is something that I was looking forward to since I saw them at the Takeover Tour. I was like, next time I see 21 Pilots, I'm gonna be in the fucking pit because I want to jump to Lame Boy.
And that it was so fun. Like I didn't, like, I mean, it feels like how I guess you'd expect it to, but it's like something paired with the energy of the people around you and the music itself, and like jumping along to it is like, it's so fun. Like
it is. I don't know if I've ever just been more excited for anything in my life more than that concert. Yeah. But like, just all the crowd interaction that they do. For the songs, like Migraine, he didn't even sing the first verse. He had us rap it.
Yeah, it's like, a long rap verse.
Yeah. And like when he did Heathens, he's like sway, sway, and we're all like, it was like so fun. It's all so fucking fun. Yeah. He's like during Saturday, he was like, nobody's watching you dance. Yeah. And I was getting into it. I was dancing.
I wasn't watching it.
And I was having fun. It was super fucking fun. And Trees, I got the whole Trees speech. And
I wanted to get that for the video, but then I don't know, my phone was like not unlocking and he already started talking. I was like, whatever.
I can send it to you if you want.
Maybe. I'll see.
But he was like, you know, like Mike mentioned earlier, he was like, I like this venue a lot, like I told you. And I told the Greek in LA that I don't like this venue very much.
Straight up told him.
And then he was like, yeah, but, you know, even though our relationship is complicated here, I'm happy to say that we're back together. And everyone was like, yeah! Yeah. And he smiled because everyone was, he was cracking a lot of jokes. It was really fun.
Yeah, right before Stressed Out, he's like, this is a deep cut.
The first show that they did at the first club they had, before like 4 of the songs, he was like, this one's called Stressed Out, and then he played a different song.
Yeah, I remember you telling me about that.
Like, I love that he jokes about it, but he still plays it at most shows. And it's like,
oh, and also I remember, I think I was saying it to you and not the other buddy, but the bass in Stressed Out, like the real bass that they use, and then also I don't know, something about the way it was mixed in concert. I was like, that sounds so fucking good. Oh my god! Yeah, no. Like I never felt stressed out like that, at least for a long time, since it's so overplayed. I was like, oh shit, I like this song.
Oh shit, this song's actually good. But like, they must have turned the bass up to 11 because like it was fucking crazy.
But it wasn't like too loud. Like it was like mixed.
You could
perfectly.
just feel it.
Yeah, and it's like, oh, that's dirty.
Yeah, like that fucking. The backing band was so good. Yeah. And like the guy on bass went crazy. He was really
Skylar or something. I think
something like that. And he was great. They're all great. Oh, with the backing band too, they did Lowrider, like the theme from George Lopez. Yeah. And like one of the guys on keys and guitar back there. He was like, Lowrider.
But it was like really clear.
Like, his voice is fucking crazy.
Yeah, and like, I don't think it was pre-recorded either. Like,
no.
There was like slight imperfections in there, like, but not like a bad thing, but like just it was showing. Like, I'm pretty sure he was actually singing that. I was like,
it was
whoa.
fucking crazy. And then you just Tyler on the cowbell, like, ding, ding, ding,
yeah.
ding. But it's like, oh my god, that was fucking sick. They're a fun group of people.
Oh yeah.
And I'm really glad that they came along.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
They were there for what they needed to be, and then like during car radio and stuff, they kind of just went away.
Yeah,
like,
no, I think they were never like, oh, I wish it was just Tyler and Josh.
Yeah.
Like the moments that I wish were just Tyler and Josh, like, I don't know, something like the backflip on the piano or something like that, where it just feels very much them. It was just them.
Yeah.
And like the band was never like in the way, and whenever they were there, they always added a lot of energy.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, they're like for I'm Not Okay.
Oh yeah.
They the three people on guitar and bass went up on the front of the stage and they did the solo, and I was like, yes.
I'm really glad they did that. They give them a little.
Yeah.
I mean, they all had like their moments throughout that they
Yeah.
like gave them a little space for, but like it was since that I think that. Yeah, that must have been the last time they were on the stage. Mm-hmm. That's a nice like send off to them.
Yeah,
letting them get a whole.
They're all
fucking
very
solo.
talented.
Oh yeah,
and I'm glad that they came along. But Trees was fucking crazy.
Yeah.
They came out on their little islands with their drums, and they were like, Tyler was like where Josh was.
Yeah,
and
it was really close.
I got a really cool slow-mo video of it, and it was anybody who goes to a 21 Pilots concert has to experience Trees from the Pit. Mm-hmm. It was fucking crazy.
Yeah, and like we were talking on the way home too, and like I think Trees, the way they end that out with drumming on the crowd is so great because I think it looks great no matter where you are. Mm-hmm. Honestly, probably the worst place to be would be under them, where you can't see anything, but also at the same time, you get to say, I got to help them up during Trees,
yeah.
which only like a few people can do each show.
Yep.
But like, if you're like all the way far in the back of a stadium, or an arena, I guess, because I don't think they really do stadiums, like all the way in the back of an arena like we were for Bandito, it looks great seeing all that confetti mm-hmm. coming down and seeing them like just two guys on top of an entire crowd in an arena. It looks awesome. But then also when you're in that pit, even at a small show like ours, just seeing that confetti coming down and seeing them through like the smoke and the confetti drumming and anthemic you know yeah like it looks so magical, and there's nothing like that feeling. Uh-huh. And I kind of a little bit had that feeling when I saw them on Emotional Roadshow, because I was also in the pit, but I wasn't that close to them. And seeing, I don't know, I really love the angle I had of them this time around. Yeah. And then that video will be played shortly. But
if you're still around, it's probably going to be around the hour and 20-minute mark.
We may hit like 45.
This would be an almost 2 hour long video.
Maybe. We will see.
Guys, this is fucking crazy.
I'm going to have a lot of processing.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Not as much editing. It's more just like getting all these clips in. It's going to take a while. Yeah. But yeah.
Again, I'm sorry.
It is what it is. This may be a Tuesday release, but I'm going to work at it. I'll try not to.
But like, yeah, it was something else. Mm-hmm. And, you know, people brought back the like thing where you pull up your fingers like this. It looks like the old logo. And they started doing it again, and it's like, oh, it feels so good. Yeah. Just to be acknowledged. And like they were like, and yeah, at the end of every show they go, "We're 21 Pilots, and so are you."
Oh yeah.
And it's like,
it's iconic.
It feels like we are, to be honest. Yeah. Like it's so fucking amazing what they do. The music that reaches everybody.
Yeah, and even though that crowd was, you know, tightly packed and like slightly uncomfortable at points, and there was, you know, the one Nazi incident earlier. Yeah. That was probably the best crowd experience I've ever had. Oh, yeah. And like it really, like you were saying, it really does feel like we're all connected through the music. There was even a part like where he like kind of like stopped the show. Well, not like stopped it, but like it was between songs where he's like, "Hey, I know this is a really big pit, like, in this building here. Like, it's just a big pit area. A lot of things can go wrong. Can we just take a second to, like, look around and make sure everyone's okay? Like, can you, like, literally ask people around you, are you okay?" And, like, it was great. Like, people were looking around. Like, I was looking around or whatever. There's some guys behind us, and they looked at me. They're like, "You okay, bro?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm good. You good?" They're like, "Yeah." Like, it was just, I don't know. There's that, and like everyone just seems so excited and so in love with the music there, and like it really is something else.
It's a big family.
It really is, and you know, every family has their downsides.
But there are some people in that family that I really don't want to be associated with. Yeah, but you know, that it is a small portion of that family. Yeah, it is such a fucking great band, and I'm so glad to call them my favorite. Yeah,
and I also just want to say, like, the Scale and Icy in general, you know, the album itself, as it's going on, it is a little disappointing for me. Sure. Like, there's great moments on there for sure, and but it could have been done better. But I'm glad that I had this experience during this era, because I think it's gonna help me view this era in a better light, just in general. Just because this was a great concert, and I'll have to think about it, like, as I look back at it in, I don't know, a few weeks or a month or so. But like, I think this is probably my favorite concert I've been to.
It's gonna be extremely hard to top this.
Yeah, this was really good. Just everything from the energy of that place to the building itself, to the music, to, you know, the band, how close we were, and all that shit. It was a near perfect experience, and yeah, I mean, they've always been known, like, even people who don't like 21 Pilots, like, I've seen it a few times, like, people were like, yeah, their music's okay, but they put on a hell of a show. Like, and it's true, they really do. Yeah. They like you were saying before, all the crowd interaction and everything, it's
the lights
as well. Oh my god, yeah, we didn't even talk. There's like a side that they have in the middle of the stage.
Oh my god, yeah.
That like was constantly changing colors and like was like contrasting with another like screen thing that was behind it, and it looked so cool the whole time. Like, I fucking loved that.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
And Mike didn't know about the side before we went in.
No. Yeah, you made like a sarcastic joke like, "Oh, I wonder what's under that tarp," and I was like, yeah. I wonder what's under there.
I was like, it's the side.
I was like, oh, okay. I hadn't seen like the stage design at all.
Yeah, it was very cool.
Yeah.
But something I want to mention as well, my mom and my sister were off by themselves somewhere. Yeah. And there were a couple girls behind them that even before 21 Pilots came on stage, they were like, "Fuck me, Josh, I love you, he's so hot."
Jesus Christ.
And it's like,
I missed that part.
Yeah, they were like making sexual comments about Josh, and my mom gave him a dirty look because my sister was getting annoyed and like a little grossed out by it, and they were like, they were making a big fuss about it, and then security got called over, and they were like, "You're gonna have to move," and they're like, "Only if we get to go closer," and security was like, "I can't do that." And they were like, "No, then no." And he was like, "All right, if you do it again, you're gonna get kicked out." And yeah, they were just stupid idiots.
Yeah.
And
they were they threatening to like pick a fight with your mom?
They were like, "I'm gonna fight this bitch. I'm gonna beat the shit out of her."
Like they couldn't hear them.
Yeah. And my sister and my mom are not people you want to fuck with.
Yeah.
They will fuck you up if you come at them, and it's like, yeah, you fucking idiots. There was another moment like that at the Shinedown, my first Shinedown concert, like you mentioned, like I mentioned, not like you mentioned, where we were on the barricade and we got there first, but there were these two girls that were like, we got there first and then they got there next, and they were like, "Oh," and my mom was like, "No." And they were like, "Oh, this bitch won't let us stand here," and my dad and me and my dad both looked at them and were like, "What?" And they're like, "I was talking about another person."
Another bitch. A different bitch.
We're like, "Mm-hmm." And then they kind of shut up for a while, but they left after one of the opening acts, so it's like, you're fucking stupid. It's like, you can't just say shit to people.
Yeah.
And it's like, my mom was like, because they were making the sexual comments about Josh, and they were like, and my mom was like, "Yeah, because they want you." Yeah. And I was like, "Yeah, he's fucking married to Debbie goddamn Ryan." Yeah.
Yeah.
He does not.
No.
But it's just
he is a satisfied man.
Yeah, there are good luck, hon. But like, it's just like, some people need to just zip it.
Yep.
It's not that hard, I promise. But yeah, other than that, fucking amazing concert experience. Best one I've ever had, and it's gonna be extremely hard to top.
Yep. And I also want to mention, because I forgot to sum it up, the people who behind us, the girl who was complaining, like, too short, couldn't see anything. I kind of wondered how she fared after the big push at the beginning of 21 Pilots, because it was like, oh god, she's definitely in front of people that she cannot see anymore. And you had said that you kind of saw them at some point, like, head off to.
It was like 3/4 of the way through the show, and they pushed back through the crowd to get like out of like the pit area. Yeah, and it's like, really, like I get it, but like, you asked us to move. Yeah.
Well, I mean, there's that, and then also it's just like they probably could see better from back there anyways, sure. Honestly.
But yeah, it seemed whenever people were leaving the crowded area, they went right past us. Yeah. Because, like, we got pushed a lot. It's like,
yeah. Why can't you go? I remember there was one in particular that was really awkward, like, because it was a really tight space around me, and they were coming through. I was like, I don't know which way to go. I'm like, I'll go this way. Nope. I'll go this way. Nope. I'll go back this way. Yeah. I was like, sorry.
It was very crowded. Yeah. But yeah, I wouldn't change it for the world. It was amazing. Yeah. And then getting merch afterwards was something else, but it didn't take as long as I thought it would.
That wasn't awful. No. But I'm glad I got this shirt though. I've been meaning to have some Half Alive merch, and even if it was $40.
Yeah, I got that shirt as well, and I got this hoodie. It says the Takeover Tour and has a cool design on the back.
Yeah, this is a cool flower design.
I did spend a lot of money, but I splurged a little bit.
It's worth,
and it was worth it. I needed things to remember this night by.
So. Oh yeah, no, it was a great concert. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, we were really sweaty by the end.
Oh my god!
And when that confetti was
how sweaty I was.
When that confetti was coming down, it was just sticking to us.
Pretty much, yeah.
It was.
There's a moment I looked over at Colin. I was like, "Oh, you got like we were like almost out at this point." I was like, "Oh, you got 3 pieces of confetti just like stuck to your chin."
Yeah. It was very, very sweaty. But I wouldn't change it for the world. It was amazing.
Yeah. No, it was great.
And then here's the clips.
Yeah. Here are some clips. Where are you taking me?
No. You're dead.
This is purgatory. We're on our way. So yeah, we're going to Hell, Chicago. It's a little rainy. Yeah, we might get copyright. It's okay, Half Alive is gonna be playing.
Yeah, fucking excited.
Then 21 Pilots as well. Yeah, a little rainy right now. Might be a little windy once we get to the city. Yep. But yeah, there it is. Wait. Oh, Chicago! Oh, you can barely see it. I don't know why I thought bringing the phone closer would work. Oh, it's gone. It was there. Yeah. Wait, where'd it go? There it is. No, it's not. It's right there. Why can't I fucking see it?
Well, cameras aren't as good as
there it is. The Big Apple. The city where dreams come true. What else is there?
Detroit.
Become human. There's the ocean. We'll be there soon. We just parked.
Yep.
And there's lore.
In mine, we're 380 through 382.
381.
So that's pretty cool.
I'm proven to be vaccinated.
Yeah. No, that's the wrong hand.
Yeah, you're unvaccinated.
And 380. So.
My skin is like, I look so sweaty in this now. I look like I got oiled up.
Alright. We'll see when we get in.
We're seeing 21 Pilots.
22? Are you sure it's not 22 pilots?
For sure it's one.
Just one pilot? Oh. Oh. Yeah, it does say it, doesn't it?
One.
Alright.
See ya. okie dokie. You're gonna get a nice street view after. I don't know. I'll probably have trees as the last thing you see. So this will be a little bit jarring, but this is our post concert, review, I guess.
Yeah.
How are you feeling?
I'm feeling dead. That was the most insane concert I've ever been to.
That was really fun. Yeah, it was great. Colin's voice might be out tomorrow.
Hopefully it's back when we record.
Yeah, we're gonna record in 2 days, I think. Pretty sure. So, yeah, we'll see. But
we'll talk more about it in the episode. I'm sure we already have at this point.
Yeah, this is the episode.
Yeah, it was the best concert I've ever been to. It was so fun.
It was really good, and as you'll see in some videos, I think I'll probably put in my Snapchat of Josh Dunn. They got close to us.
Yeah, they were very, very, very close.
Turn here, I guess. Yeah, like especially Josh drumming on the crowd during Saturday, and then when they do the crowd drumming at the end of Trees as well.
Yeah, and even Tyler went for a ride when he was.
That's right. Yeah.
In front of us, like he wasn't even that far from us.
Was that ride?
Yeah, it was ride.
Yeah.
He got on instead of holding on to you, he did ride.
Okay, gotcha.
On the crowd, so. And then he crowd surfed all the way from the stage to like a little platform thing for car radio. That was a little nerve-wracking because the last time he did that, he got mauled.
Yeah.
But that was at a festival, so we're a little less rowdy.
Yeah, it was a festival in like England, so
Yeah.
I think these people care about him a little bit more. But yeah, no, it was great. Well, once again, we may have already talked about it in the episode, but we were very jam-packed in there, especially literally as soon as the lights went down for 21 Pilots, like people just pushed forward, and it's like, okay, we are getting to know the people in front of us and behind us. And yeah, I mean, I don't know. I kind of got used to it after a little while, though. But I was very sweaty at the end.
Oh god, yeah.
Very warm.
Very warm in there.
And kind of stinky.
Men, so we get stinky.
Yeah, men can get stinky and get away with it. But yeah, no, it was really great, and I might have mentioned it on the pod already, but I have a test tomorrow. Pretty important one. It's another variation of that big one I had a few weeks ago for my history class. So we're gonna do our best with that.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a little rough. We're gonna be getting back about 2-ish. So, yep.
Yeah, try not to fall asleep.
Yeah, no, I'll keep you. Fall asleep again. Yeah. That was my shoe. That was my shoe. But yeah, can you think of anything else for just post-concert speak?
I mean, I don't know, man. Everything that I want to say we've probably already talked about. So,
Yeah.
This is a little us from the past.
Yeah, in the moment. I'm currently in my post-concert high a little bit.
Yeah.
I kind of need to ride this high until we get back.
Yeah.
But
Me too.
Yeah.
But great concert.
Yeah. Even the people who dislike 21 Pilots usually praise their live shows. So that's how you know it's good.
Brad got the same show that we did, so I don't know how he didn't enjoy that.
I don't know. Maybe they've refined it a little bit since.
Maybe.
I think you go up one more still.
Yeah. It wasn't green, so I still
gonna make sure they don't see that we're going. The sign. Yeah. Well, if you don't got anything else, then I guess we can end this little segment.
See you guys.
Thanks for tuning into our little documentary series.
Yeah, it was very fun.
It was, yeah.
Maybe at the Nothing But Thieves won't do the same thing, but this is very fun. So we'll talk at you guys next week.
That fat vape over there.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know how I'm gonna edit this yet. If we're still gonna be talking afterwards, or if this is gonna be end. But we'll see.
If it's the end, then we'll talk at you next week.
If not, then we'll talk at you right now. Those were some clips.
Hope you enjoyed the clips.
I don't remember what we talked about in the retrospect, to be honest. It was very late, so
yeah.
we may have repeated some stuff.
We definitely did.
Yeah.
But, you know, it was just our little retrospect after the concert, and an hour later after we had dropped off Mike's buddy.
Mm-hmm.
And, yeah, we... it's going to be a very, very long one.
This is already the longest episode, and this isn't counting in the clips or the song of the week.
Yeah.
Or
It's, I'm sorry for all the editing you have to do.
It will be fine.
But, yeah. Yeah, I hope you like these clips. There were a couple funny moments in there, so... Song of the week.
Do we want to go into it?
Here first.
Okay. I'm trying to figure out what I want to do. Alright, I think I know which one I'm going to do.
Right.
Even though there are some great stuff on the Lovejoy album, which I want to choose something from. I think I do kind of want to do something from the old Imagine Dragons, because like I said, some of their best material is on those albums. And so, I think the one I'm going to choose is... Yeah, I'm going to choose Curse by Imagine Dragons.
Curse. Okay.
It's a really good one.
I can't sit or I can't talk. I gotta leave this town and run to you.
Yeah, Curse, Imagine Dragons.
That was very good.
Yeah. You know, like, a lot of those older stuff do have, like, I guess Night Vision's vibes a little bit, and I love more of Night Vision's vibes.
It gave me, like, Fall Out Boy vibes.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, it was, like, like, not early Fall Out Boy, but, like, mid to late 2000s into the early 2010s.
Okay, yeah.
Like, say, rock and roll kind of era.
Okay.
I liked it a lot. It was very good.
I mean, it makes sense, because I think that EP came out in 2009, so that we just listened to. So.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I really love the chorus on that song and the little rhythm. The dun, 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 dun. I love how, like, much space they give that. Dan sounds like he's, you know, having fun singing and, like, passionate about it.
How they fell from grace just a few years later.
Oh, yes. And I realized when re-listening to those EPs, I'm like, you know, a lot of the best stuff on Night Visions kind of came from one of these EPs first. Like, you know, It's Time, Amsterdam, Hear Me,
Yeah.
Celine came from an EP as well.
Celine. Oh, my God.
And I'm like, you know, a lot of the best moments came before this album. But anyways, but yeah, no, Curse is one. I mean, I don't know. When I was younger, I fucking loved that song, and listening back to it now gives me some nostalgia. Even I'm like, this is some good shit. So,
yeah, it was very good. I liked it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you? What you got?
You know, as we mentioned before, one of the moments where I was most hyped in the concert was when they sang "I'm Not Okay." So I'm gonna go with "I'm Not Okay." I promise. By My Chemical Romance. I do promise.
All right. All right.
I'm not okay.
I promise.
What'd you think?
I mean, I've heard that song before, before, like, they were covering it and stuff like that. Like, I recognized the chorus and, like, the like, I recognized those parts. But I'm not sure if I, like, listened to that song in full before. Like, there's a lot of interesting stuff going on, like, towards the end of that song.
Yeah.
I was like, whoa, a lot of whiplash.
That is early My Chem for you.
Yeah.
I fucking love that song.
Yeah,
It's
no,
such a
I
good
like
album.
it, yeah.
Yeah, I just, and when 21 Pilots did it, I fucking lost my shit.
Yeah.
So, and, you know,
I kind of wonder how you would have reacted if, like, I don't know, it was the first show or something. You had no idea they were going to do that.
Oh, my God. I would have fucking died.
It was just
but, like, I hope to see My Chem next year at Riot Fest, so we'll see. I need to save up my money, though. So, I fucking loved that, and I love that song. So,
Yep.
yeah.
Solid pick.
Yeah, I forgot to mention during when we were talking about the concert, but, like, if I wasn't like high off of adrenaline, I think I could have cried at the end of that show.
Yeah.
It was such like an emotional fucking experience.
Yeah, an emotional road show of sorts.
You could say.
Yeah, no, I definitely get that, and I'm a little sad, but also at the same time, I do kind of like how they did it. With Trees, and I mentioned this to you, with Trees, they normally, he does a speech or whatever, and then they do like just one verse of him just at the keyboard, no other production going on, no Josh, just singing his heart out, like having a moment with the audience. They didn't do that this time. They went like straight into the production, and then they did the second verse but there was like cool lights going on there. But I don't know, that little quiet moment, that's the crying moment right there. And like I remember the other shows I've been to, like that is a really good moment. I'm a little sad that they didn't do that, but
yeah,
I'm okay with it in the end.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I was just happy I was there anyway.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
To end the longest episode we've ever had and might ever have, it's been really good talking about this concert.
Yeah.
If you're listening on streaming services, thank you very much. It means the world to us. And hey, with what Mike's going to be doing for the video, I would definitely pop over there to check it out on YouTube. It's going to be fun to watch those. You'll hear the audio, but it's definitely going to be more fun to watch the videos.
Yeah.
So pop over to YouTube, BrokeN Boys podcast, and listen and watch it live. You can see our faces, see our emotion as we're talking about the concert and the especially us getting heated over the Nazi allegations.
You can see the nice glare.
Yeah.
Was in the window. I don't think it's there anymore.
No, it doesn't look
It
like
subsided over time.
Yeah. As the sun went down.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you very much for listening or watching, and you can follow Mike on his piano channel, his music channel on YouTube, Plaintive. It'll be in the description as with all these things.
And I think I'm gonna add my album of the year account on there too, where I'm doing some reviews of albums and stuff just through text. I don't know. I'm having fun doing that, so I think I'm just gonna add that to my list.
Yeah, I have to follow you on there.
Yeah.
But, you can follow my Instagram review page. It's on Instagram.
Whoa.
The Twitter page for the podcast. And you can look at and follow our Song of the Week playlists, our individual ones and our combined one with all of ours and the guests. And yeah, it was very nice talking about this, and I hope you enjoyed it.
Yeah, if you stayed for this long through this behemoth of an episode and stayed through my concert singing, we appreciate it.
Yeah.
And
True fans
to sit through that shit. But I hope you all have a great rest of your weeks.
We will see you on the flip side.
Bye, guys.